What's going on, everyone? So looks like we got some more Xbox news today. It's an interesting one too from Digital Foundry, or Digital Foundry's Alex Battaglia. So Tech for Gamers here says technical analyst reports Xbox game videos drew very little views in 2025. When we think about what Digital Foundry does, they definitely have a different algorithm, but they definitely, you know, are massive. And he has some things to talk about here with that. And then we're going to go into what people have to say about that as far as their point of view on it as well. Uh, so starting off here, and we're going to get to the article. It says the lack of interest in Xbox-related products has been one of Microsoft's biggest challenges this generation, with the Xbox Series consoles falling short of even 2017's Nintendo Switch in relevance. Digital Foundry member Alex Battaglia revealed that the channel's coverage of Xbox video games in 2025, I'm pretty sure I'm pretty zoomed in for you guys, and just a little bit more, barely generated any views, even for titles they thought could draw the Xbox audience out. Very interesting, because I do go to Digital Foundry's channel a lot, and I do notice that a lot of their coverage is definitely not that much Xbox stuff. And when you look at their biggest videos, it is interesting because it's definitely not for them when it comes to Xbox. My channel did very well when I was covering some stuff for them, but that's different though compared to Digital Foundry, who's been doing this for a very long time, and they're like really massive. But it's interesting that he came out and said that. And then going down here, we're going to get to the official on this too. It says Battaglia went on to say that it is getting hard to justify covering Xbox. Well, yeah, it depends. Like, usually, just like I think it's hard to cover Nintendo stuff for my channel unless we want to join that negative bandwagon, but it doesn't stop their success. He's saying, like, just justify covering Xbox video games on Digital Foundry from a return on investment perspective. Okay, yeah. I mean, they're looking at this from a totally different aspect. As they work, or as the work, sorry, they put into videos isn't translating into views. They're not getting the success that they want, basically, and they're not liking it. So, what's interesting is what Jez says too on his post about this. We had another article with Jez, yeah. I told you I like covering stuff that Jez does. He does a good job with that. Other stuff aside, whatever people want to say. Under his post, journalist Jez Corden amplified the same opinion, saying that his publication primarily covers Xbox. Yeah, he kind of has to do that. And it's targeted towards that player base. But that's what I was telling people earlier in the year. Like, if you want to base your whole channel off of that, obviously Digital Foundry doesn't do that, but Jess has to do that. People like Cody Eastwood, who I think is still a cool guy. Like, when you got that being your like career, because you've been doing it for a long time, and Microsoft comes in and does what they have done, it literally does matter because that you were building things up with them. That's why I got so heated and went off in the way I went off. So Jazz coming out saying that says a lot because he's been with them for a while. It says, however, this content related to the Steam Deck gains more traffic than anything Xbox oriented. It does. Like, even stuff that I'm like, man, Steam right now has become a trend ever since the Steam machine has popped up. It's been a thing. And if you're able to adjust to it, you'll realize if you can cover it the right way, it is definitely a growing thing. And it's almost like Steam is overtaking whatever Xbox had left over. And the gaming spirit, even in a console sense. And then they got a little bit of traction going in the handheld aspect. And I mean, as long as they can replace it and keep that going, I mean, I'm all for Steam over Microsoft. I'm just saying, I obviously not necessarily want an Xbox to die off so that Steam could overtake it like that. But I would like to see both and Xbox still doing well, but that's not really what's going on. And it is very interesting to see that the Steam stuff is definitely been trending. And it definitely is going to get you more feed. That is 100% a fact. So going down here in the comments, we're going to get to this in a second. It's that vicious cycle of Microsoft making their own brand toxic. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's blamed on them, which hurts anyone trying to talk about Microsoft games or anything related to them. It just tanks down. Then it leads back to them not getting eyes on them, so less Microsoft makes less of them. This guy says, I was talking to my partner about this yesterday. Look, I totally understand the strategy here. Xbox is becoming Microsoft Gaming, and they're becoming a third-party publisher with the hope of making tons of money. Yeah, pretty much. Like I said, they're trying to get in a position of like EA, Activision before they got Activision. You know what I mean? Capcom, Square, all that type of stuff. Rockstar, they've always been doing that for the longest on all platforms. Now Microsoft's getting in that position, which will be better than them trying to be an exclusive ecosystem, which does not work with also putting Game Pass in that. It just didn't work out. At a certain point, he says, a point it feels like they're quickly approaching. You just lose the brand cachet or catch it that makes people interested in your software to begin with. Folks stop caring about your software business because nobody is left to give a damn about your brand. Yeah, we got the light calming down a little bit because it was shining right in here and then just making it like that. That's how it is, guys, sometimes. I know Microsoft still owns a storehouse of IP and franchises, but when they're only paying attention to cash cow mega franchises that never interest me personally, I've begun to lose interest in them. Yeah, you got to understand the gaming community. It's not just mega franchise, corporate, mainstream, generic stuff like you say Call of Duty, and it's like you're being generic. Like the gaming industry is way more than that. And that's where you realize that there's just a bunch of suits looking at stuff they think that's popular. And like I told you before, you don't have vision to me if you only realize what's popular. Just like you only see the biggest hits on YouTube, whatever. No, when you can find all that indie stuff, when you can find the stuff to the side that people can enjoy, and you can consistently do that, you have vision. Because it's not just mainstream obvious in front of everybody's face. That's not having vision. That's just bandwagoning and knowing the obvious that anybody can see. You know what I mean? But when you go into those narrow spots, when you see upcoming talent, when you can start naming all these different games, and it's like if I get on Netflix, hanging out with a lady friend or whatever, and I'm picking all these good shows, and like, man, I've never heard of any of this because you got talent, you got the eye to pick. You can pick talent, you can pick really good video games to the side. Like you're not just going for something that's mainstream obvious. You really got the vision to see that, and that's what they mean by like Microsoft is going for mega franchise aspects. And the Activision deal was actually a curse in disguise. You know what I mean? Because it's like you weren't able to build from the ground up and grab all these studios and build with them and make them all prosperous over time. Like that's what Nintendo did. And Sony, if they acquired, they work with the partners and they make them better over time. And now they all flourish and grew up. And you had all this internal in-house stuff dominating everywhere. That also is incredibly important. Not just picking and finding, but also from a development standpoint or production standpoint of getting something early and being able to support, love, and grow it and have it be happy over time. Not get it and it dies off real quick and gets worse. Well then what does that say about you then? Then you're just hitting the buy button. You're not able to build something with somebody organically and make it prosperous and make it blossom. You see? So it's like Halo got worse over time. Gears got worse over time. Forza was the only thing because they're that good at developing. But when you think about Fable, it lost its original things. It's like, what do we have to do? We had to buy Bethesda. Prepackaged that already built up their own love of Pete Hines, is why he left for over 30 years. Activision did what they did with Bobby Kotick, though there was people there before him. You know what I mean? And then they prepackaged that. But are you able to grab something that has fallen down and raise it up to blossom and dominate? I've never seen it. You see, a lot of things just leave and die off. So that's when you realize there's love lacking there and real might. It's sad to say that. And I'm not talking about Phil Spencer, you know what I mean? Because he did what he could. Phil Spencer has eyes, you know what I mean? He could go to Japan, grab all these little talents, but that's one guy, you know what I mean? It's like, what about all these other people? When I look at them, I say, are you really a heart and soul inside of gaming? Or are you going to find something and neuter it and help it grow? It's like, man, ever since I joined these people, I've been so much more happy. Look at the results. Our metas are getting higher. We're selling millions and millions of copies. We're booming and we're blowing up and we're dominating. Everything just keeps going down and down and down, but the money and the market cap, that goes up with the AI. It's soulless. So this guy says, yet another Xbox doom and gloom slop threat, so the money from SEO farm will not earn themselves. I'm surprised they're still making a new console. Maybe. They as hard as they can on their own brand, such as the way of life. I mean, literally, they did. I have Game Pass running for years. and own and use an X regularly, but the brand itself I couldn't care less about since they themselves don't care about. Well, yeah, it's kind of like a mirror. It's not like people don't care about Xbox or Game Pass, but it's like, look what you did to it. So going over to this post now, tech analysts, we're going down. This is the post that Alex Battaglia said. Looking over the year, our coverage on Xbox titles and videos almost feels like it is getting harder and harder to justify from a work return perspective. Very little views there, even for titles that you think could draw them in. He said this literally on the 22nd. I wonder what the future is there. That was literally yesterday. So he came out and said that. And when somebody from Digital Foundry, like Alex Battaglia, you know, one of the main people there, say that, people are going to come see that. And it's going to spread like wildfire. Microsoft's going to see it. And all the main people in the industry, they're going to look at that. They're going to see that. Because you can't miss it. It's Digital Foundry. So that's why it's already over like this. And it does get interesting because this is a question of leadership and genuine, authentic care about your brand. We see that it's not there because that's not what's made Microsoft anyways. It was software monopoly in the 90s. Well, Bill Gates and them. And then we see now what's always made them what they are. Yeah, the software aspect. And then now they're pushing AI. It was never gaming, but at least gaming was somewhat like relevant in the 360 era and even cool in the Xbox era. Like you felt like there was something there where it could be like, yeah, this is a part of Microsoft that I'm proud of from an American identity standpoint. Now it just doesn't feel like any of that. So there's just too many people coming out. And then I know there's going to be somebody that's not going to be happy with Digital Foundry because it's going to seem like that they're pushing negative aspects, but it's like, no, I mean, he's just saying what he says. If we want to find out proof, go to Digital Foundry's page and see the results. You know what I mean? Just go to YouTube, look at Digital Foundry, type it in. Also, Digital Foundry Clips, that's their Clips page. And then look at Xbox content, and then look at other content put together. You know what I mean? That's a way to really find this. So this is what I wanted to kind of cover in this. Why it matters right here to make a proper comeback in the mainstream. Xbox needs a new video game IP that can warrant players' attention and time. Well, that's why I say that I don't understand why you didn't add multiplayer to Halo Campaign Evolved. Like I said, you could still add it by doing plus expansion coming, multiplayer. And then you could have Fable doing very well with online co-op. Forza Horizon 6 is going to do well. You're going to be able to cover that. And State of Decay 3 could blow up. It really can. Then you got Call of Duty coming to Switch. So like I said, from a publishing standpoint next year, Microsoft's feed could do fine if it all ends up turning out the right way. We have to see how all that plays out. Obviously, Call of Duty is going to come to Nintendo. Then you're going to have another one coming at the end of the year. Yeah, it's generic, but we just have to talk about what they have. And then they got some other things on the way as well, too. We know Nintendo's going to blow up. We know PlayStation's going to do well. We already seen some of their lineup, so Microsoft has to bring it in January, and they have to make 2026 very relevant for the Xbox brand and for the American identity, because it's going to be rough on the hardware side. We already know what's happening with the RAM hell and the SSD hell and GPU prices going up and all that. And I don't just think it's that, as I've told you before, it's also a lot of manipulation going on, because I, for the love of God, cannot see how you're going to be in the industry this long, know how to get the God code, program like that, push those AIs and algorithms like that, and not be able to know that, you know, I mean, come on, guys, let's think about it, that this is a bubble. And that it's not going to work for everyone. We can all say right now, Google Gemini looks like it's going to succeed because Google's always doing that. Look at YouTube and all the data feed they get. Elon Musk is going to be fine. NVIDIA is going to be fine. And AMD is going to do what they need to do to not go insane like that. And they're going to continue working with Sony. They got the console selling and all that. But Copilot, I don't know. And anything outside of that, what else are you feeding, right? We saw the open AI data feed. Yeah, they got like 40% or something. I don't know if you guys read that article, but outside of that, what the hell are we doing here? There needs to be a balance here. So that's what I'm saying. I can't think that they're this dumb. No, it's something else. It's a scheme. More manipulation, more of the rich getting richer. If you ask me, and screwing over the consumer even more. And then if you mess up and make that mistake, you want to punish them even more when you should be punishing yourselves. No, they need to be given deals and things will be fine. Just like Microsoft not doing the Xbox wrap. It's like, bro, yeah, how much money would have cost you? Your damn AI could have done it for nothing. They just are showing that there's no interest there because they are being boot stomped for AI focus. I'm telling you. You saw the demand. Hey, either you're for it or get out. That's an ultimatum. So I mean, every single resource in general. And they're like, oh, just wait till next year. It's like, no. See, this is the thing with y'all that you're not understanding. If you want to build a strong brand and identity and make people want to respect you, you have to literally like build up something for a long time. Not consistently keep stepping on rakes and then consistently keep just saying, oh, yeah, don't do a rap. Like, oh, those little things add up. This is what I mean. And then you say, oh, just wait till 2026. No, you need to build up momentum. And the company never does it for the brand. It's ridiculous. And right when you think they're doing it and you want to do something, they just come in and you're like, man, I can only have so much patience with this company, I swear, when it comes to Xbox. Everything outside of that, whatever, man. But that's what I want to talk about. Let me know what you guys think about this. What do you think about Alex Battaglia's post? What do you think about what some of these people are saying about it? And I know you're hoping for an amazing January because we got CES coming. God, guys, I swear, it just felt like not too long ago, Jensen was on stage at the CES showing off all of that. And look how fast this year passed and how insane it's been. Yeah, let me know what you guys think, all right? Peace out. Yeah, man.